on this team. Some of the teams they've been able to take down with relative ease. So I'm excited to see if OG can peak right here, right now in this elimination game. We got Anubis, OG's sneaky map pick coming into the series.
Yeah, this was picked into them just the other day by Vitality, and they actually ended up putting up a great scoreline on this map. So maybe the idea that OG have been putting in a bit of work behind the scenes with this squad on this map, it was able to take Vitality to the limit. Let's see what it will do to NaVi. NaVi are fast into the A play. FASHR with a backstab. Does have regali alongside it, but that smoke from Aleksib, that's annoying. And that slows them down, giving a bit of room for a lurky Simple to come in with the backstab.
Yeah, he knows there's more in store as well. FASHR, even if he gets this kill, he won't forget about it. Everyone's dead. Fiku getting run down, and the Glocks will do it for NaVi. They come through with a statement pistol round. Quick A-pop. You're going to see a lot of those on the T side of Anubis. And NaVi brings some pace in to take away the first. So you sell this to me, Harry. If you're calling for the OG 2-0, why?
Well, you know, I think the thing that's like romancing me a little about this team is that they're kind of the leftovers. I would look at it as like the creation process as to whoever invented the Long Island iced tea probably came to that conclusion.
Just a bit of everything.
You just kind of have a couple of spirits left in the cupboards. You shouldn't be mixing these. Every bone in your body says, nah, this is wrong. But then you did it, and it created something quite beautiful, actually.
I love
that. With OG, you know, you very much have the kind of leftovers from roster shuffles that have gone by, and I think thus far they've played greater than the sum of their parts. So there's something to be said about that, and I think for folks like FASHR in particular, someone who we saw fit the bill of a star player on Ecstatic, and then have a very troublesome time in that Fnatic squad where he transitioned into like a more supportive element for the team. I think he wants to show he's still got it. But this round up against the full buy of NaVi, it's not gone swimmingly for OG. One man in at the back of the site, Fiku. We call him the lone wolf, usually great at operating alone. But that's asking way too much of him. He'll get run down. And so NaVi, they find this conversion, no problem.
Yeah, Fiku, we've always touted him as a clutcher, and he's already been showing that here at Cologne so far in the couple of games that they've played, especially that one over Complexity. He was a real nuisance. Definitely broke that team into pieces. But doing it against NaVi, doing it against Simple and Bit and the boys, easier said than done. It's going to be Keto, the sole German in Cologne, to save his Deagle armor, and NaVi to come through with a clean second round, only losing the Mach 10, so money is not a problem. He's standing on the rock, he's not swimming. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
All right, Hugo, sell me on NaVi.
Do I have to? Do I need to?
I mean, just did my set. I think it was a good pitch, honestly. I had a whole metaphor planned and everything.
Yeah, you came in with the Long Island. I like that. Yeah, NaVi are favorites, no doubt about it. I shouldn't have to tell you why. I think Aleksib is... This is for me, Harry, I fear NaVi. I fear how high this team can go. Like, this is a matchup NaVi should be winning, sure, but if anything, I'm more leaning to your side. I understand why you'd go for an upset pick, because I don't know how high NaVi
sold it with the Long Island metaphor.
It was good. I just love the idea of too many spirits in one cup. No, I think if Ima can stand tall and give us not the same performance as he did at Paris, but anything even close, this NaVi team's super threatening. But so far, we've not really seen that form out of him. JL, I've said it a couple times, has seemed like the best addition individually that NaVi have had so far. And so, for me, a lot of the success of this team, if we talk further than this matchup, is going to rely on someone like Eamon stepping up. I think if NaVi made it to the arena, it could be a very different kettle of fish, considering the experience, very recent experience some of these players just got. And Aleksib as well, no strangers to stages, been in major finals, Katowice twice, G2 as well.
Yeah, I think this is a series where you can really keep an eye on both the Romanian players here on either side of the field, right? Regali for OG, Ima for NaVi. Has been cool to see the rise of Romania here as well, right? More and more players coming up. You've even got Volt, who obviously had his time cut short, but Gonna keep a key eye on it. And I was even looking, actually, Regali's like first HLTV game was up against EMA.
Really?
All the way back when EMA was in Nexus. So there's even, you know, some history there from years ago, right back from when Regali was very, very young, very young.
Nexus is a cool name.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Zello, you know, that was a time when he was playing an Epsilon after that team. There have definitely been some talents come out of Romania, but we just haven't really seen them make the same runs. I think there's a rumored, obviously on that rumored TSM team, a young Romanian by the name of Modo, I think it is, that I'm not too familiar with, but he was rumored to be on that roster. Simple, doing simple things, getting rid of these pistol players on the way out. Nexa trying to make them die with a bomb, but Simple will clean it up for the man. As NaVi go up 3-0, and now the game really begins. OG, this is their map pick, and they are on, to a degree, the harder side, right? They get the map pick. NaVi go for a T-side choice, which I love. You don't see it really on any maps, but this one. And so they're getting it out of the way, but they also know they are somewhat favored here. Defaulting is very powerful on the T side of this map. CTs, we've seen them get more comfortable with making aggressive plays and taking space, so we'll have to see what OG want to throw NaVi's way. An AWP attempt down lower. Regali finds nothing. A smoke lands for NaVi. They're looking to take middle late after the util expires. It's on his A default, but team coming back to him. And A executes do definitely seem like one of the stronger options on this map. OG leaning 3B in this gun round, very heavy. Trying to make a read. Right now it doesn't look to be the correct one, but these constant re-smokes are allowing for this stack. It's a third smoke user A main in this round. But it still won't stop NaVi. They're coming in eventually. Fiku's even backed up into the bomb side, meaning he can concede middle and play with his teammate. But by the time they find out NaVi is splitting A, it will already be too late.
Yeah, Fiku's really got his work cut out for him here. 1 kill from the map, but he's got to do so much more, especially as main gets corrupted. This gets more and more awkward for these side players. Keto caught on this on the fade of that main smoke. I think he thought he was a little further behind the pillar than he actually was. He was fully open to it. So it does get awkward, but they've at least traded evenly into this 3-on-3. FASHR, first man in around the corner, and JL makes quick work of him. Nade for Nexa to follow up. Will find a bit of damage, but nothing to write home about here. Knows he still has JL trapped, but JL's got no reason to peek. That molly is going to force a swing, and so Nexa rewarded with 1. Regali still a ways out here, late through middle, and with nothing being found, it looks like this might just be the save for OG.
Damn, he never knew how viable it was. Bit had his back turned, crouched in camera.
He fully wrote off that connector flank out through middle.
Late. And that's a bit awkward for Keto there. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. Like misreading the timing of that main smoke, and just being, obviously he has to be open to either main or towards connector, but he's covered from Con and he can just fight main and try and trade out Fiku, who dies to that A split. It almost looked good for OG on the A site if they could trade 2 for 2, but yeah, this is where it all falls apart. No one watching the smoke. JL locks it down in the post plant until he's forced to make a play, and NaVi, seeing why they picked that T side after all. As Aleksib said, they may have been caught off guard in the veto, but NaVi have done their homework, or at least their preparation. Seeing some nice mid-rounding so far from Aleksib. And OG are just left to scraps around this AWP and M4.
I mean, yeah, this is the exciting thing about the new season, right? It's kind of discovering what work has been put in behind the scenes, what maps look comfortable. This is the first time we've seen this new look NaVi squad take to Anubis. So if they end up looking sick here, I'm sure other teams are going to be thanking OG for getting that info out of NaVi early.
They've definitely seen this, haven't they? Very aware of the aggression towards B main. Regali trying to cover. He will hit a nice shot into Ima. His teammate still pushed up further. Simple's going back for the bomb. Almost punished. The jump saves his life, and he can just rotate, reset to the T-spawn. Meanwhile, they get the A pick. This is all falling apart for OG. Fiku, kill them all or lose a round.
Yeah, he's got to do a lot, and Arm with only the Deagle trapped in. That Molly's going to make life very miserable for Fiku. So it's cleanly done over here towards A for NaVi. OG just too far removed to even justify giving this any sort of a look in. Nexa probably shouldn't go any further than the temple where he is right now.
Yeah, they just double save their guns again, and this is what we were talking about to start this game, the options for CT aggression. I'm interested to see how Anubis has developed over the player break, you know, see what moves CTs go for. I think Vitality right now seem to be, you know, ending the season on as the best team in the world on this map. You know, we had a couple of rosters try and challenge. That phase looked pretty good at one point, especially during last season of Pro League. I remember Heroic floated the map into... was it Vitality? Or no, NaVi at Pro League, and they had a monstrous, aggressive CT side. You felt like they won the game off of it, but then they couldn't get it finished on the quote-unquote easier half. So teams are still trying to figure it out.
And I think, you know, even that game that you're referencing, that was like one of the, for my money, one of the cornerstone games that like gave rise to a lot of the CT opening moves that we see nowadays, right? And kind of was a bit of a case study for how to look to make some of those aggro moves on the CT side. Teams have definitely started to adjust better to what you can get away with here on CT Anubis. But right now, it hasn't really been working for OG, so they're going to call out their first tack pause early here because they're 0-5 down. They haven't really even had a moment in this game where they can say, oh yeah, this was close, you know, we had a chance to make something of this round. The best case they've had was like an awkward 2v2 retake where they were never even going to attempt it once it got to that point. So considering that's like the best looking round you've offered so far, you really want to try and throw a bit more resistance the way of NaVi. Because right now, they feel like they have so much freedom. I mean, even, you know, in some of these kind of set-piece rounds over towards A, it's coming down to just these heads-up fights in main, and then the round is decided on the back of them. Simple wants to be involved early to open this one up with the AWP. But the util is going to make life a little awkward for him. It's separated him and his teammate. IEM played ahead of the Molotov and will get fed to FASHR, who's finally on the board with his first. Util exchanged over here in dark, but space has been taken by JL. Oh, FASHR saw the jump up, decides to just get out of there. If that wasn't so weird on the timing, that would have been his kill, but he just looked away, and you could tell it kind of threw everything off, made him feel awkward. He just says, fine, I'm fine with the 5v4. And so not able to punish JL's jump peek down in dark. NaVi now look further afield.
Yeah, to what's been working, that's been these A splits, right? The pressure on k1to and Fiku yet again to play in tandem, to have good synergy here as they go back to take A main. This is a nice move as NaVi are getting closer. They're going to leave Aleksib on a bit of a late mid lurk. It's being watched by Regali's AWP with a tight angle. So it's all on these A main entries. Fiku playing anti-flash. They contact in. k1to takes his. Can't do two. Are they ready for Fiku?
Oh! Checked by Bit.
Barely.
Raw execution of him in the corner. And so the man advantage sides with OG, but NaVi are going to have this bomb plant to rely on. Simple drops the bomb forward.
Wow.
And he's been throwing the AK, giving that AWP over to Bit. Simple wants to try take a bit of space here. Moving up onto the bricks, and Regali nails his teammate in the meantime as Bit tries to climb up heaven. Simple has got to do this alone. Doesn't have that AWP. It's Bit's AK in Simple's hands that's got to win this round, and Regali does not give the room. Great round from the OG AWPer as he puts up 3 to find them their first.
Yeah, found that, you know, crucial kill on Aleksib walking mid very early before they'd even, you know, fully cleared out A main. He goes after the contact is made onto k1to, but Regali is very patient in middle, and that's a nicer way to play it because we've seen OG do all these B stacks, but NaVi have not really thrown much at the B bomb site in this game, and typically it's going to be very telegraphed, right? You want to execute B, you can play A a lot drier until you get to, you know, all the way to Fountain. But the freedom of only playing 2B allows Regali to cover a mid-split. And NaVi have been going for an awful lot of those. First time out comes in. We were talking about this yesterday. I think one of the benefits of NaVi going international and starting speaking English is we're going to get more and more English out of Blade. And yeah, the guy's funny.
I'm very excited for everyone to you know, really develop an even closer relationship with Blade now that he's embraced the English comms. He's funny, man.
That skit yesterday.
The skit with Blade in is fantastic. He can also do a great Seth Rogen laugh. I learned that from him.
Yeah. Why,
which I was very surprised about. And I think the rest of NaVi were at that time as well. I don't think that was something he'd showed off publicly.
No,
so,
you've doxed him.
But I hope we can convince him to do it. Maybe we'll get it out of him if NaVi win this series.
That would be big. Why did Seth Rogen come up? Were you being?
He said I sound like Seth Rogen when I laugh.
That's what I was going for. Wow. Burning out in lower. Double molly swap. NaVi, what do? They go back to A? It's the right call. k1to's here with an AWP though. We've got 2 in the pocket of OG. This is an interesting change-up. And considering how dry NaVi have been taking A main, the most they've used is 1 flash for a close position. k1to should have a shot off.
I think the strongest A-holds on Anubis are provided when you have an AWP and a rifle working in tandem, but right now it is just k1to with this AWP. He lines up the collateral. That's a weird decision to try and peek it like that, and k1to dropping down will fall at the hands of JL. This A site opened up. He landed that collateral, so JL is wounded. That's why he's picked up this second AWP in the post plant. A 2 AWP post plant, you can make that work. The AWPs can just hold sight lines and deny this first bit of pressure that OG looked to apply. This is kind of awkward for OG. They need a kill to go their way, and they need it to go their way quickly. Flash in a main. Well placed. Aleksib is forced off the angle, but it's kills going the other way. NaVi find all of them in seconds. This round is over. And NaVi break down the door at the A site again. This has just been their pocket strat, their go-to. Rinse, repeat the A plays, and OG are not able to withstand it.
Why stop it if it's working? And you mentioned the tendency to play double A main with a rifle and an AWP. Once they got that pick and traded out onto k1to, they were so aware of that smoke. 3 players of NaVi were watching it, waiting for a second player. Maybe FIKU still playing close and trying to trade that out. They weren't falling for any funny business. And now Rugger laying down the law because OG, they have had one clear problem and one clear problem every single round. It's the inability to trade out effectively on this A site. And I don't see Aleksib stopping these calls with the success they're having. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And, you know, I think Aleksib is someone who's down to play these mind games. He's down to kind of get you so paranoid about A that you eventually overcompensate. And that's where he's going to look to explore other avenues. And, you know, I think as well, even the kind of the nature of the task that Aleksib's had upon joining this team as the captain is, you know, having to try and cook up very simple solutions to complex problems. But I think that's what this guy's good at.
A new round of NaVi gotten ahead of the possible changes that OG might ensure. Aggressive into A main again. Honestly, and why stop?
This is becoming a little concerning. Yes. They've played the double mid setup now, so they're like hoping that the faster rotate allows them to pad out A. But this is where, for NaVi, they know that they've spooked OG to worry about the A site. That 1 kill is huge, yeah, and the bomb has been outside of mid over towards B since the start of the round. NaVi, it was always their intent to pressure the extremities over towards A and then get a bit weird in the mid round here.
It's a big opening kill. How much will OG panic? Because they're pulling a 3rd player over as well. Regali's making his move in CT spawn, and NaVi have been holding B with the bomb all round. Oh, that's a crucial kill. It's going to, you know, show OG that this is all a fake, all a ruse, and now they need to get their running shoes on and send the player back to B. FASHR moving back to a safer position, realizing that he is alone and they're likely surrounding him. And OG start to shuffle across the map. That B main smoke from FASHR couldn't be timed better, as it's finally fading now. OG have players in position, more than enough.
FASHR still has a molly nade as well. He can make this awkward as they try to play it down to the wire. The kill from JL helps get them in, but regali will respond. Util reigning over for NaVi. Nexa concealed in the smoke. Gonna try and play it on the fade. He hears another drop down, but he goes walking. Regali creeping up. And FIKU bringing it up right behind him. Everyone from CT or Temple. And Aleksib gets rid of that first man. Fiku now dead. They know that Regali was over at CT as well, but that doesn't make dealing with him any easier. Aleksib's got to do the heavy lifting alone. Wins the first fight, but can't best Regali, who has been the multi-kill hero for OG. In the rounds that they found, he put up 3 Ks in both of them. And so Regali, you know, he said in every team he's been in, he's had to be the star. In this matchup, he's got to be the star for OG.
Oh, yeah, you're playing up against Simple. You better be, you know, winning your AWP head-to-heads to some degree here. You can't let him run all over you. And JL's been very keen to pick up AWPs when he finds them, giving NaVi a lot of double AWPs on T side. Some overfacing for NaVi in the post-plant at the very start of it, but that's done well.
We didn't see that IEM kill and that IEM kill rather, and like, I thought IEM maybe had overextended trying to fight a CT, but man, that's just a crazy shot from Regali. He is very, very quick with it.
I like the pace of that retake for OG. They don't rush it. They let NaVi sweat, and both players kind of give up their position. Oh, good spam. Boost up though. Simple almost gets his revenge, but his teammate is not standing wide enough. Aleksib lets him down, literally. And so they can't get that trade. It felt like there was a good opportunity there for NaVi to equalize. Strong grenade through main. And OG still back to 2 on A with the AWP as well. This is more standard of a setup. Regali playing towards the pillar. Keto able to bait for him and assist him with utility.
Right now, NaVi need something just to try and give them a bit of room to work with here. They don't really have info what's happening anywhere on the map. They don't know about middle. They don't know that this Regali AWP has found itself over towards A, as you mentioned earlier. And so they're trying to cut off info over in mid. They lob this smoke out just to make these A players antsy, but it looks like NaVi have got their sights fixated on the B play. That smoke over towards camera has drawn Fiku off of B for a moment and put him on the wrong side of the Temple smoke. So suddenly, even though you've got 3 players over towards the B site, you only have 2 fighting. NaVi are playing this one down to the clock. 1 kill in the right place from FASHR at the back of the site, or Fiku alongside him will go a long way, and it has for OG. Simple does not have time to plant this. A couple of nice kills on the exit, but he will get run down after time. FASHR knocks that AWP out of play. And Simple's money sent into disarray, dying after time at the conclusion of that round. He's $100 short of the AK and armor.
Yeah, and that's part of the teething issues for NaVi, right, in having, you know, new players, a new language, and a new in-game leader. A little bit scattered on that execute. The timings were not great. They're shuffling nades at 15 seconds and swapping them. And OG just have so many players on that B-bomb site, despite the mid-fake. Great round from FASHR. He got locked into that corner back at Glyph, but uses his smoke preemptively, puts out their Molotov, allows him to cross into a better position. And as the first entry comes through for NaVi, or first entry player gets out towards jail, FASHR, you know, gets the ball rolling in the right direction for OG. They're recovering here on this CT side. They're looking to wake up on their map pick. Simple does have an AWP funded to him by Aleksib. It's cost him a Galil. Worthy trade. Ooh, that's good spam. JL was trying to fast run Dark. He might just go through. NaVi are grouped right outside B, ready to go.
Yeah, it feels like they want to give us something a bit pacier here. Util raining out through main. You know, for NaVi, in these few rounds, time's been a bit of an issue, but this one is no such problem. Just Regali left to get past. One man with this AWP trying to turn the tide of the round, but it would require something huge, and he gets flashed off the angle. That's going to force a save already out of OG. NaVi, they could feel time being an issue. They ran out of it in that last round, and so they go, all right. There's no way we run out of time. If we go in the first, 30 seconds of the round, it's an explosive play. They send JL through the dark smoke. He does really well to get that opener. It's all helped out by that flash. I think it was from Bit.
Yeah.
It's a great util, and considering the Bit as well, I think throughout this first half, one of the reasons why they even, NaVi even have this many rounds is that Bit's been very switched on these main lurks, just harassing Keto there, and that's gone on long enough now that it feels like OG aren't trying to challenge too much for this deep main control. That kind of freed up Bit to even be around to throw the flash for JL.
Yeah, it's just conditioning as well for NaVi, just going for so many A main pops in a row, even if they, more often than not committing, but towards the end, they just started taking that 5-on-4 and running away. And now OG, who have been playing Triple B from, round 2 of this game, finally don't have the numbers in the B bomb site. NaVi make the perfect timing on that B call, going very early before OG can shuffle anyone over and make a read, make an aggressive play. And now they're just left with 3 saving into an eco. So this is a really solid T-side for NaVi, and it's going to get better if regali peeks. Simple as on the angle, waiting, hoping for an opportunity to strike. regali holds the other side of the pillar. Who is more patient? regali won't make that mistake. And this is the first time Simple's even, played towards this angle, just holding dark for an opening kill, because NaVi have smoked it every single round. I think regali has an inkling. This is too easy. This is too free. I can't go free. He looks elsewhere instead.
Ima's holding back over here towards outside of B. I feel like regali's had a good head-to-head versus Ima. Will that keep up? Ooh, he saw him on that jiggle, so he knows that someone's back outside of B.
It's a nice, safe play for Ima, not to overfight that. Doesn't need this kill. It's just more info for Aleksib to work, and look at the space he's taking. Of course, it's an A split.
Yeah, this is the real test. That smoking at main is problematic, and with Aleksib falling over in middle, this round gets thrown into disarray. You can't really wait for that smoke. You need another door opened up, and JL will do it. Double kill from him on the dark push. Bomb getting retrieved, but chase being given from k1to. He's in with the backstab, and Bit's going to turn on a dime to find him. The chance sails away from OG. Fiku slowed down for a moment, and so he can't stop the bomb as it transitions into this side of the map. A save called out for OG. I thought that Fiku was going to get running there, was going to try and, get that trade onto Bit, knowing the round would be won. But he anticipates the Bit's going to hold for a second. Just wait and see if there's that second man. And in doing so, Bit's allowed to get out of there scot-free. This head-to-head between Bit and k1to has been monumental as to why the scoreline is so one-sided for NaVi right now. Bit is flat-out owning k1to in these fights. There's no other word for it.
k1to's been fragging inside of this OG team. He's been putting on some really good games. JL can't find his gun. Yeah, that's so weird. Okay, he's found it. Nice. Yeah, there's been some really solid performances out of k1to, looking like a star of this team at some times. And man, that one hurts. Good comms from NaVi though, because JL considers going back after he trades out Simple with that double and dark. He thinks about getting the bomb at 25 seconds. He looks at it, he stops, but then the call is made. No, take the space in B. Make sure we actually still have the bomb site after your entries, and Bit can bring it in. If Bit dies there, the round is over. He hits an absolutely nail-biting shot onto the A main flank. And it's getting better and better right now for NaVi. Boost up again. Simple hits the flick and he makes it look easy. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, kind of
Simple's
a lovely,
fighting well today.
He is. Both him and Bit are. As the 2 signature NaVi players. k1to, that feels good. That feels like that one's not so nice feeling, but
gap.
Given a route into the A play again. And k1to does feel uncomfortable over at main. Even in a lot of these rounds where we've seen like weirdness around the pillar, just kind of being a little wider than maybe he intended to. Couple of missteps here and there, giving kills away. And NaVi feel like they're just kind of bullying him now, right? They want k1to in his head, because if you can have that A anchor who's responsible in a lot of rounds, especially when OG are kind of piling more resources over towards B or going for these double mid plays, if you're able to have that A anchor just doubting every move they make, you're rubbing your hands together. You're on your way to a good T side. And so they're doing a great job of making k1to look foolish, of making him feel uncomfortable here.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, it's in the rounds where OG try to compensate for that, that you see NaVi go for these slower rounds, right, where maybe they look for the kill at A, but then they pump the brakes, they explore other avenues. That's where you're helped out massively by someone like JL, who likes to go and challenge the extremities in these rounds. You're helped out by him finding his footing in this game.
Yeah, NaVi have left a lot of options open in this T side with Ema defaulting towards B. He's been, making sure that just, even if he's not been, necessarily taking space or getting entries, making sure that OG just can't flank and get aggressive and get info. So OG have been in the dark this entire map, really, and it's certainly not helped by the lack of success over on the A side. And now NaVi, they're starting to just take audacious fights. Ema fighting front B, spamming mid-smoke, again popping through the A main.
Every bone in OG's body is telling them they can't just keep going A, but as Keto's finding out, they can. And they will. And here they are, running it in with a double. JL and Bit have done it again. Go A till it stops working. It's that simple for Aleksib right now.
I mean, that's what he's known for, one of his classic calls, He does love an A site. And when that fails, there's sometimes a B site. And now Ema, every kill matters on the exit. He will fall, but there's more players that NaVi can hunt with. They'll give it some time, make sure enough has ticked off the clock, but at this point it's guaranteed, isn't it? Flashing over, chasing T-spawn. This is well worth the risk, and I say risk, it's minimal for NaVi.
You do just have this inescapable feeling. There's a bit more OG could be doing to try and shut down some of these plays. Even the fact that NaVi are going for A pushes so quickly means they're having to run down the T stairs. There's that early nade you can look to throw that Fiku was actually throwing in earlier on when he was over at A, just to deny that like super fast pace into A main. But since he's moved away from that side of the map and it's fallen to Keto alone, that PC util's not coming through. Keto's stuck in this like awkward, horrible decision where it's like, they keep getting this deep main, but every time I try and fight it, I die, and if I die, then we lose the site. So he's having to like toe this impossible line of playing passive, but not so passive that he gives away all the space, but he can't go too aggressive because if he falls, which he often has in this head-to-head, then the site's open.
To
so
me,
what do you do?
It's just felt pretty lifeless for OG. They've not actually tried to make many moves, right? They've not had many double setups. They did a couple things towards A main, but even they looked pretty out of sync with each other. That round where Keto and Fiku are, both looking mid, and the A smoke fades, and they just get double killed. It's not like OG have tried to make many aggressive moves, with the exception of letting regali, peek spawn or sneak into an angle with an orb. And most of the time, yes, NaVi are defaulting well. They are covering these plays, but OG haven't had some sort of execute where they take back water or they explode out B main. They've just been relying on their anchors, and right now they're not delivering. So OG don't seem to have an answer for when their plan isn't going to plan. And now they have just 2 rounds left on the half to try and remedy the situation. 5 rounds isn't the end of the world on this map, but it's not been screaming like they're going to get it. Keto, an important kill, but it's not on A this time. They've swapped him with regali. He's found the mid pick. The lurk is gone. Everyone else is focused on B for NaVi. Got to boost up a rifle. This could be nice if someone tries to reposition, and they will. Emo spams them both coming out of dark off the top of the boost, and he just jumps through because at this point nothing is failing for NaVi. Everything is coming up for the T side. 11 rounds merely guaranteed, as regali won't move out of his position, and while Keto has good timing, they'll consider it.
I mean, it felt like, when you look at this OG team, if there's one player who definitely has their freedom to kind of roam around a hell of a lot, it's going to be regali on the AWP. So the moment you saw Keto in mid, I think NaVi knew that that AWP likely found itself over towards A. It's so often a move you make to problem solve this A side of the map, and that made them feel super content to assemble those boosts outside of B, knowing that they're not going to have the AWP, scoping them down over the top of it. Very good reactions, and once more, you talked about conditioning earlier on. Well, that round was like a great example of it, right? OG have so often had this AWP and a lot of resources over towards the B site, and they'll even go knocking and hunting for that AWP at the end as Ema really comes alive in that round.
Monstrous round for him, and that's what we've been waiting to see from this guy on this team, right? Just hits some lovely spray as they try and exit on B, and then he jumps through a smoke, which is so audacious, but you have to love it at this kind of scoreline, and that's going to piss OG right off. Goes on to find the 4th kill, denies that AWP save. regali will still be able to get it dropped over.
JL, whenever he wants the AWP, he'll just have one. He's taking the AWP immediately for the double AWP T side.
Why not? Simple's firing his off as well, so they won't expect one dark. If they had an open dark, they might even peek it. It's FASHR instead, getting curious, and he certainly could get punished. But only an MP9 won't be chasing this kill. NaVi go back for a mid-take late. And here's some moves being made by regali. It's at a nice timing, but he's actually missed the window. Thinks it's clear. They nade, which does announce their presence. That will keep him at that B bomb site. He was considering a rotation.
I just think as soon as they learn that this AWP is over towards B, that's when they're going to look to pick up the pace for the A play. regali's been like the one guy to worry about. So there's the kill to JL, ringing out down into dark. And yeah, look, the shuffle starting to happen right now. That bomb is up and leaving mid. They're sending IEM back from B, grouping over towards A main. Having to take the rugs route because this lower area is open. This mid creep from nexa is kind of crazy considering they don't have middle, but it's going to work out for him. He can get peeked from the window. It's never needed. The bomb spotted on IEM down towards the T stairs.
Aleksib needs to play late in this round. He can't go just yet, but his team are falling apart. So 20 seconds now, he must make a move. And he really needs both entries. Neither will present itself. And IEM just drops in for B. He has a hope. If he gets this quick kill onto FASHR, he can win this round. That smoke comes down. It helps him out. And he's found a way in. Oh, but he surrenders the round. That's a shame. Could have had a plant, but it's not meant to be. 4 at the end of the half for OG. They are scraping by as NaVi run wild on the T side of Anubis.
What is your calling?
It's a damn near full house for NaVi as everyone is pulling their weight right now. Not a weak link in sight. NaVi keeping it pretty stripped back and simple in that first half. For OG, it was anything but just getting abused over on A. The one player we could depend on here was Regali. A lot of the rounds that OG have been able to put up, over half of them come off the back of his performances on the AWP. So having to be that point man, that front man was Regali, but oftentimes dodged or avoided, struggled in a lot of these moments where the plays would just come down to retaking the A site when it's already lost and they're already a man down. So for OG, they've got to hope that they can really find some magic here on this T side, and it would have to start with this pistol round.
Oh, this is getting caught, awkward for IEM. He gets caught by FASHR. They take a lot of space towards CT Sport, and Regali running him down, and Keto a recovery round as he finds 2 kills. FASHR finishes the job, and out of nowhere, OG come in with a bang and take that pistol round. They spot the mid-aggression, NaVi with 3 players there, and they just escalate towards B. Some awkward missed USP shots. NaVi can just brush it off, but we know Anubis can be T-sided at the best of times. Let's see if OG can make something out of their map pick here. As we did have, I don't know, higher expectations, I think. NaVi aren't some unbeatable force right now, although you wouldn't be able to tell that from the first half.
Yeah, you know, it's still like a team with serious challenges to face that's in its infancy, right? We don't have a grizzled, seasoned NaVi squad here. This is them early on. So was hoping OG could bring more of a fight in that first half, but maybe they can course correct here in the second. We've certainly seen some wild comebacks here on Anubis since it's been added to the pool. Vitality.
Let's not talk about that one.
Ooh. Out through main. Keto's trying to give them a taste of his own medicine. He's out in the A site. Nexa's flanking middle. Keto was getting bullied. Oh, Nexa's walking into them. And Keto gets killed by the USP, but Nexa should just alleviate all this pressure now on his mid lurk. So never to be worried about for OG. Now it's just simple, and he is deleted by the MAC-10. Nice round from the captain of OG to contain that, stop it getting weird at all. Good space taken on his push through mid. But for NaVi, that was just a full eco. So this is where things are going to get a bit more interesting. As they cobble a buy together, we're going to see Simple on the Famous.
Got to have them nades, man. Let's see where he puts them. Maybe we have those aggressive A-main nades that you were talking about. Simple looks to be lining them up instantly, and I like that because it's just free damage, man. You know there's going to be players here. He missed it.
He missed it.
He missed it. Aimed a little far to the right. Ooh, that's a nice entry. Taste of NaVi's own medicine. FASHR's found a double kill, picking towards Dark as well. Simple somehow wins a spam. Keto can't catch a breakthrough smokes today. So NaVi trying to drag this round back. This lower push is dangerous, but it is announced. Smoked off. Aleksib eats that nade.
It feels like it did weirdly, you know, not a lot of damage. That was like at his feet.
Yeah, probably the lip of the stairs soaking the damage.
It is uneven ground there, so it definitely looked like he's been spared a little.
And they just go back to A, which is a really good call. And NaVi at the same time make a gamble. Nothing wrong with that, but it will leave them saving here.
Regali, grab a gun. No one even noticed. So he's gone ahead and armed himself with this M4, and they will move into the almost undefended A site. It's just JL here. Ooh, JL looking for a double. Only good for the first one. Simple will just full send through the molly. NaVi play it very confidently in this one, and it's all left on Aleksib. Even though he finds Fiku as that smoke pops, he does not want to attempt the round here, does Aleksib B. He will just be saving, and so OG are making this happen over on the T side, closing the gap. That first rifle round going their way, teased them up for another freebie in the next.
And that's why T defaulting is so nice, because NaVi come in with two very aggressive players at the start of the round, and they both get bopped by FASHR in that double entry, pushing A main for bit, and then IEM facing dark. Check these kills and how quick they come through. Just a jiggle with no flash, and that's what happens. So OG group up and they do right by those two entries. As NaVi are left with near nothing.
Oh, I like the move from JL, trying to take this space. Okay. An
Still
interesting way for the round to start.
Oh, he's dead.
JL spammed out by Nexa. He didn't buy it. JL tries to, hopes that he
Is it Christmas?
believes, hopes that Nexa believes he's missed left middle. But that's not the case. And so that's a nice easy one for Nexa, who has done it all in this round. IEM's going to try play around the smoke, but Keto coming out through dark should have this round under wraps. Even though OG are going into both these remaining players, it shouldn't come to matter. Nice deagle out of IEM. Nade brings him down even lower. And they don't even have to take this. They can just go grab the bomb. But Nexa with this mid-wrap got the round locked in, doesn't he? So makes it nice and easy for himself there. And OG are now just 3 rounds away from NaVi. 4 in a row to open up this second half. NaVi started their first half with 5 rounds consecutively. So OG are trying to outdo that now.
Yeah, it's even NaVi calling in a timeout too. A little awkward to be sitting in that smoke for JL just to hold down into the water. Not a surprise to see Nexa just get a double kill on spam when options are that open. We have Simple on the AWP, second best spawn on CT side. So he can go for a mid fight, he can set up a main with a rifle.
He's got a very mid spawn for trying to make open moves, opening moves that is. Could try his hand at the lower peak. Let's see what he wants to do with it. Kind of like to follow out over towards A. So going for the AWP rifle hold, and he might look to take some space with this. Well, Simple. Just going to scope up down the line early on, and you can see FASHR is waiting for someone to come walking into his crosshair. There's that early nade we were talking about earlier on in the game. It's found a free 50 damage onto Regali.
Do not turn that down. Can boost over the smoke as well. It is an option. A bit keeps control of A main with a lot of utility dumped to the start of the round. NaVi have no more smokes. And OG are keeping count.
I mean, this is already a really good position to be in, right? The fact that NaVi lack any real ability to slow this down outside of the Molotovs, but even they're going to get worked through quickly, and they're not as good as buying time as the smokes are. Now the util starts to come out for OG. They're applying this pressure over towards dark. FASHR's going to look to take this. He's got Keto backing him up, and the rest of OG wait outside of main. FASHR's got to be the guy to try open this. Got to be the guy to try get it cracked open. Regali can then take lines from the main side, just dropping the smoke at his feet. FASHR goes running through the smoke, and even though Regali finds one, it is the only thing that goes OG's way here. Locked out by NaVi. Aleksib with a triple, and that's how they arrive back on the board.
Yeah, it's a pretty desperate hit for OG. I mean, the players, both of them go through the smoke and die before a single member of OG has even walked through B main. Those timings don't seem perfect for OG. Even though they have a left side smoke down, there's not that many players of NaVi who can even face, and they barely get away with a kill. So, huge round for the captain of Aleksib, the quietest player in the server, or, well, he was until that round. And OG are out of timeouts. They're running out of chance.
That one did feel weird, though. I'm inclined to agree. You know, desperate, I think, is a good word. And it felt desperate from nowhere as well. It didn't really feel like it had to happen as fast as it did. There's still 25 seconds left here. They try to go for, like, the element of surprise angle, right? Like, yeah, it's a weird thing to go rushing through that dark molly. But NaVi are ready for it. And I feel like, you know, the one time you're going to quickly check a smoked molly is right as it blooms, just to see if you can catch someone, you know, in the chaos, looking to move through it.
Oh, this is nice, but wow, Bit's quick to the punch. 2 headshots come through as he swings a main. And Keto, he just hates Bit right now. This is a mortal enemy in this map. Both halves, he's causing issues. And Regali was right there, but just not scoped up in time, not ready for a player that aggressive. Bit's even taking Simple Zorb, looking for a third. Ooh, FASHR gets the shot out with a jiggle, but he doesn't want to go back for more. Bit's on a safer angle now to escape. And OG bailing water from the boat in this 3-on-5. Someone needs to be a hero. Maybe it's Fiku, but jump spots on this B-bomb site. He's only going to get one chance. That molly goes into Temple, or rather behind the bomb site, forcing Aleksib's reposition, but he smokes it out. So OG can't go yet. This is all a fake anyway. They're trying to take back A main, but I would not want to be running into Bit and Simple right now.
This is a really scary place to find yourself. I mean, Bit has just had full dominion over A main. It's been very impressive to watch. You know, on one side, you've kind of seen Keto, who's looked uncomfortable at the best of times, and then you've had Bit, who's like a master of this position, of this side of the map. So a case study in how to get it done. You want to watch Bit. JL denies the mid component, and Nexa's left saving. This round is a non-starter for OG, and that's how it tends to go down when you get double killed off the rip, when you try to make your opening move. I mean, Bit was there very, very quickly. Must have had the good spawn for that peak. Oh, Nexa. Okay, gonna survive and bring the gun with him, but that's the only thing they've got up against this scoreline, Hugo.
Yeah, this has just got to feel super comfortable for NaVi. You're shutting OG out very early in a lot of these rounds, just with your A main takes. The one round that NaVi really screw up in this half is the one where they insta-face Dark and A main very, very aggressively, and they get picked, and they just haven't made an error like that since. Playing still relatively aggressive, just not off of spawn. And now it's just Nexa who could get boosted up into middle, perhaps. Try and find an opening kill, but no one's even facing here. JL's all the way back in camera. What this boost does do is allow a player to walk through the smoke to the right. So Keto's going to do that while he's being covered. Oops. They need to go back and get the bomb, though. I mean, that's presuming OG are going to get much real estate in this round. They could just get slaughtered, but there's double mid setup. Big entry from Nexa. Simple misses his shot. He's got to pick a Molotov. It goes down to the choke, but they're running right through. Keto won't make it out alive. Simple going back for more, and they're going to reset.
Nexa got the entry. Now he's gone back and got the bomb. OG believe they can make something of this round, and I like that they pressure mid early, and now they completely uproot it. You know, Simple heard, what, 10 feet running at him just there? So he knew that they were heavy in middle. The immediate and decisive call to go back to B might actually net a bomb plant here for OG. Ooh. They all go running it dark, trying to pressure it. FASHR gets out with a Glock kill. It's just Simple left to get past, and that's easier said than done. He'll lock it in with this AWP. Great to see Simple in good form. As mentioned, I mean, it's been him and Bit that have been lights out in this one. Alongside them, IEM finding fantastic impact.
Yeah, a great recovery for IEM towards the end of the T side. He had a couple of crucial multi-kill rounds. The first, 10 rounds or so, he was just holding B, and NaVi were just winning the A side anyway, so he didn't really, do much.
Yeah, just kind of like
really,
surplus to requirement,
just
right?
existing, to be honest. All these nades dropped over by Bit, so Simple's going to start lobbing them out towards A. Hitting FASHR, who won't expect a second. Comes through, and they swing with the nade timing. That's a nice combo for NaVi.
These were the moves that, OG were kind of lacking in their CT half.
Yeah.
They did that nade. I think I saw them throw it twice. And
they peak with it as well. It's just the synergy here. It's a lot better. Simple holding for a jump across. He knows his MAC-10s. He's seen them in middle. OG have a bit of a messy buy here, and they've got to make it work. Bit, very low health. Oh, he catches that on the jump, though. He sees as Simple now moves in with the orb. JL has all of middle. Even though they're right round the corner, NaVi are not scared of getting split anytime soon. They can focus on this A main frag. Kito's crawling out behind the smoke. And JL's going to be able to completely rotate back into A without even being spotted.
Even that's wild,
he wants more.
Creeping forward, he's going to knock Nexa out of the round. Kito dead over in main in the meantime, and this split is reduced to just a one-prong attack in through middle. Simple smoked off, but there is, quite the gap there. They're going to pick him around it, and regali opens up the route to B.
They know Bit's low.
They're going to try and find him, but Bit has been a real problem in these A rounds. It feels like he's always good for a multi-kill. He's only got one to his name right now. If he can even find one more to make IEM's life easier in the clutch, that could tee up NaVi for 15 here and now. And Bit looks like he might go uncleared. Bomb pulled for regali, and Bit will find him. Does what he had to do in the round. It's left to Fiku, who's great in these clutches. He's just going to get this bomb planted with half a second to spare. IEM out through the connector, and he will overrun Fiku. When you shut down someone who's so good at giving these clutch rounds for OG, when not even that's coming through, what do you have to rely on here? 15 appears on the board for NaVi. Just 5 kills away from stealing OG's map pick in the series. And looking real good while they do it. It's a very even distribution. It is a real team effort out of the NaVi squad right now. And the kind of heroes, the players that have these kind of specialized these looks for folks like Fiku. Often you depend on him to deliver these clutch rounds. When they're not coming through, you don't have much to grasp onto here if you're OG.
Yeah, it's a game where NaVi are without a doubt favorites, but the fact that everyone is performing and everyone's had their moments, and IEM's looking far better than some of his previous games. Simple's, not hogging space, but taking plenty of opening kills, plenty of early kills with the AWP. It's just been a delight to watch for NaVi, making this look like a very simple game.
I think Simple's been very accommodating.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I see him dropping the AWP over more to low players than ever before.
Yeah. And Bit, he's been a threat as well. Flashback in for more. He fights too. Bit always the multi-kill man right now. JO will fall. There's a way into A. It's what NaVi were doing all T side. Aggressive and very early A pops. That smoke did not fall how they wanted it to, though. That just lands down in the site, I think. They're going to get some control at least. The flank is coming in. FASHR waits for it. 2 players here. Well, Simple set a flash for IEM. He's got so many nades, and he just dies instantly.
I mean, if you're NaVi, you still justify floating around here and just seeing if anything's provided to you. See if they give you a reason to go for it. And Aleksib just might have cooked up the reason there. Simple has got to be ready for FASHR up close in main, but it's how late this play is that looks to take FASHR by surprise.
They're doing it.
Aleksib lobbing in the util. Fiku tucked in the site here, trying to play the crossfire with FASHR, and they will align. Just left to Simple, and he's not attempting this one anymore. Waiting back outside of main. Sure, he might stop the save of this one AK, making it a very expensive round. But not even that's guaranteed. OGs live to fight another day. It's the A play that works out for them. It's FASHR on the opening to do it all. 3 kills from him in the round.
surprisingly reserved retake for NaVi. Surprised to not see them, give it more of an attempt, right? There were options there, simple to flash him in. Maybe he didn't want to show that they were double flanking there, but he jumps in. So NaVi not really on the same page on that one, it looks like. And OG, a quick A-pop where they trade out fairly efficiently, and they do right by it. They close around, so that's reassuring. But they're going to need more than one. Simple spots that cross.
I like
they have
this
a one-way.
Yeah. This
He
is
won't re-peek it.
a nice way to just deny this presence while still leaving the dark push open, right? Keto, usually if you smoke this, he's going to be waiting here for a solid, 10 seconds while he waits for that. Oh, that's annoying.
Disaster.
Aleksib now knows they're in there, and he's got the perfect gun for the job, but Keto will deal with him.
They're just popping.
Trying to keep the pace up, trying to follow through on this play into the B site with dark control taken. They felt like that was the leg up they needed. JL dead, over in Temple, and Simple creeping in. The last time it was one of these 2v3 retakes, Simple wrote it off very early on. This time, he believes, he wants to give it a go, and he's brought us back into even odds. Bit finds another. It's the two vintage NaVi players looking to take this one home. Just regali to beat. Behind the pillar, dancing with them. He will keep OG alive. It's another hat-trick round from regali to find double digits for OG.
Those are the only ones that OG win, it feels like, when regali just goes big mode, and, well, no bigger mode than that. Blinded in the open, but just safe enough to catch Simple coming around the site. Huge clutch for regali. Something that OG needed. It's broken NaVi's money. It's given them a platform here to maybe make this game interesting. It felt like NaVi were going to keep this one-sided. Now OG have an opportunity. They better grab it with both hands. Full eco for NaVi.
Right, rate this Zeus spot, Hugo.
Okay.
Show me Ema. I want to see.
He's down in dark. It's fine.
You're a prolific Zeus player,
this
so
one,
you know
this one you feel like it's...
Is this like a 90 damage when they swing you wide?
I've done that.
Yeah,
I've done that.
Because it looks like it could be.
I struggle on getting Zeus kills on this map, even this position, and especially when they don't go there. Although with this default set,
hold your
might
horses.
go back.
There's still options.
Yeah, I like that he's trying. That's really... So it gets a 10 out of 10 for me.
For effort, 10.
Result, it's not always down to you, man. If he had a Zeus skin, different story, and I hear they're coming. Those are the rumors. Zeus case?
We can all hope. But yeah, they're going to go A. The Zeus won't even get a chance, man. Won't even get a chance.
Guess we'll never know. Nexa on mid lurk. It was Aleksib doing this T side as well, so captains.
I felt like the captains do love a mid lurk here.
Yeah.
I think it's because as well, it's such a powerful position to hear info. You can kind of hear all around the map, so you have a very good picture as to where NaVi are going, and you manipulate the hell out of the rotates just by staying alive in mid. And Nexa trusts himself to not overface here. Ooh, Simple's Deagle had a chance to do something.
Yeah. Part of the downside of being like a lurking in-game leader that the players will talk about is, oh, you're not with your team, you're not with the pack, and so you can't, have a full idea of what the site looks like, what the execute, needs to be as a result. But because it's a site Anubis, it's not that intricate anyway. There's not that many spots CTs can efficiently play, and so, for the reasons you also gave, mid-lurking for an in-game leader on this map is definitely nice. It's important just not to go too early. And so 4 rounds separate these teams, and with no AWP and no kit in this one, NaVi still don't have the perfect buy yet.
And if we're honest, their perfect buy isn't coming till right near the end of regulation time here, right? That's when their loss bonus is going to start maxing out, and that's when they're going to start to be able to pull things like the AWP out. But till that point, they're going to make do with buys like this. So not out of the woods yet, NaVi, even though they've been sat on 15 for a little while, and they're all looking good, so it felt like it was only a matter of time. OG have at least laid the groundwork for a comeback. This walk through the mid-smoke is watched by Nexa and regali. It's not just the one-man mid-hold. They'll deal with it, and in the meantime, Keto's opened up down in dark. This is all the makings of an OG round. Aleksib is the only line of defense left. Good for one, but regali has been key on these trades. never letting a play go unpunished. Wherever Na'Vi looked for an advantage, Regali was there to make sure it was returned to sender.
He is so quick, isn't he? I mean, if that's an AK there, Aleksib can line up 2 kills and then be able to isolate Dark. So that's still not a 1 round until Regali trades out Aleksib, and Bit really shouldn't even poke his head into this one. He's not armed for the job. Exit presents itself. Will that tempt Bit for some more damage, perhaps? Regali's gone hunting. He's had enough, and another 3K for the Romanian rockstar.
It's crazy how many of these rounds that OG have got to their name have been 3Ks from Regali. It is kind of mad. You know, you're in a matchup, Line versus Simple on the other side. Not only are you outperforming him, but I think you've been the more talked about when you've had that AWP.
Na'Vi need to keep their heads in this because this is getting a little bit dicey, a little bit too close for comfort. 4 CT rounds in the middle, separated by 4 either way for OG. So it's been quite a comeback off of what was 11 of their own rounds on the T side. It felt as good as done. Na'Vi now getting kind of stuck into the realm that OG were at, not willing to make any super aggressive plays. Simple been mostly avoided, and it's kind of just the opposite result. While Na'Vi were going for really quick A plays, constantly finding Keto, it's actually Keto who's opened up Dark in numerous rounds, and OG have just hit the B site very early.
I was really curious what they were going to do with the money, because Na'Vi are in a bit of a weird spot, right?
Yeah,
where really 1 buy round is all they have, even though there's 3 rounds down the stretch before the end of this game. So they've put actually quite a bit of money into this one. Buy up in the next, and you imagine that round 29 is one where you just look to save if the first fights don't go your way, to have another buy in round 30. So the path is there. It's visible for OG.
Right, that jump spot for Simple. He sees the orb, he sees 2 players outside of B, and so now OG are the ones scrambling, trying to change their tune on this T side. Bit risking it all with aggressive A main, but they flash and they leave. They're hoping that pushes him back. It's done nothing of the sort, with Simple supporting as well. Na'Vi now know this is going B. I don't want to call anything, but this is all the makings of Na'Vi having a chance to find a force buy win here. They are in the right positions.
Oh, they're going to flash push.
Oh!
1 out of Fiku before he's traded. It does work out, but only for a moment. Regali trades out over at long, and Aleksib's finished off by the Dark push. They're holding for Bit, who went through main right at the start of this, but Simple, if he drops mid, he would fully sell Bit in this round. So he's got to go on the wrap round. And that just means that Na'Vi won't actually have these 2 players in a position to even give the 2v4 a look in if they wanted to.
Ooh, I like the Na'Vi had a play there, though. They went aggressive. They popped main with a flashbang. Good trading out from OG.
Regali again on that trade work over towards long, right?
Master of it.
And, something that has kind of been cool there is I think, you got to give props down the line, right? Like, Regali, as this game's gone on, early on it was just kind of him going huge, but as it's gone on, it feels like the others are trying to be that first point of contact and then have him there as the safe bet to at least get the trade. It's been good to see, because sometimes as you get into crunch time, your star kind of feels the pressure to be involved early. And it's the worst feeling where, you're up 24-12 if you're Regali and you go for that opening pick, in round 29 and round 30, and you die first. And suddenly, while you've been instrumental to the whole series, you just have to sit back, hands off the keyboard and watch. That could still happen, but with how they've been using him so far, he's not been that first point of contact. He's kind of been orbiting around his team. This does look to be one where Regali fights early, though, taking that orb down towards the T stairs and holding for a dark peek.
Yeah, and they're going to pop A. This is very early for OG yet again. Bit holding utility. He sees it coming. Molly goes in deep. He swings as the smoke comes up. Will they risk going through? This is a dangerous decision. OG still opt to do so. Simple making up his mind, but he gets caught as they swing out wide, and him and JL obliterated. Na'Vi really should be thinking about saving to buy a blast, but Aleksib's had enough. He gives it a go with 2 kills, and that puts IEM in a winnable clutch.
He's got 1v1s open, but is he ready for the mid lurk? Oh, he flicks back to it. Nexa dead now. And it's the 1v1. First game for Regali on HLTV was versus EMA. And now they go down to the wire. 1v1 in this dance for the clutch. Regali with a slick reposition. IEM should not be ready for this. He's tucked himself in over towards camera. IEM slinks into the sight, out through the heavens, and regali holding the perfect angle.
Read.
Molly gonna force him wide, and IEM locks him out. Experience reigns supreme in the Romanian head-to-head, and NaVi pick up this map when all is said and done. IEM with a late activation across Anubis. Started slow, wasn't required in that first half, and then came into his own, winning that final 1v1 to put them on the board. Now a map up in this series, and with NaVi's map pick coming down the pipeline next, they're licking their lips.